This is third week on our lesson so far on operation on number base, and our learning objectives here, which we are going to look at here. We are going to look at rules of base number, addition of number base, subtraction of number base, multiplication of number base, division of number base. I'm not going to waste your time in this, because some of them you have been taught in your GSS1 class. It's just some little bit of complexity added to those questions. It's nothing. Once the experience you have in GS3, you taught in GS3, you're taught in GS1, that experience you can use to follow up this particular tutorial. And rules of number base, there is something there. I will attach this notes to this particular lesson so you can read the rules by yourself. But let me just explain it using question that I gave. Said number must be equal or greater than base number under consideration, and so on and so forth. So how does all these words that is there, what does it mean? So let's solve some question now. There's a question there. I do see some of them in Y question, though base number is more of objective and small little theory questions. So but let's solve all this. If you're given this now in your class, so your teacher asks to solve it, how do you solve this one? Now you can see that this one is more than base 2. In your lower basic, you're on GS1, GS2 and GS3, you did only base 2. Now you're moving to base 7 now. Now in base number now, if you want to add, what you should know is that number here must not be equals to 7 or more than 7. It means there you cannot have 8, you cannot have 9, you cannot have 7 in your final answer here. So just get that stuck in your memory. Now you do normal addition. 7 plus 7, 7 plus 7 is 13. What you do is that 13, you are not, because of the number is in base 7, you divide 7 by, no, 7 plus 6 is 13. Let's say it's 13. You now divide 7 divided by 13. 7 divided by 13, that is 1. Remainder what? Remainder 6. So you write 1, 1, remainder 6. Is the remainder you write. 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. 7 goes in 8. It is what? 1, remainder 1. Now 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 plus 4 is 10. 7 goes in 10 is what? 1, remainder 3. This is what is remaining. Now 1 plus 6 is 7. 7 plus 5 is 12. 7 goes in 12. That is what? This is 1, remainder what? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, remainder 5. So you have 1, remainder 5. This is remainder. So this one, because it's less than 7, you are going to bring it down. So this is your final answer for this one. So you write the base 7 here. The next one now, this one is 1 and 0. It means it's in base 2. Some cases they will not give you what base is it. It's plus. They'll just give you something like this. Just know that since it's 1 and 0, it is in base 2. Now 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 goes in 2 is 1, remainder 0. 1, remainder 0. 1 plus 0 plus 1 is 2. 2 goes in 2 is what? 1, remainder 0. Now you had again 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 goes in 2 is what? 1, remainder 0. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. 2 goes in 3 is what? Is 1, remainder 1. Are you following? So sorry, 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 2, remember that is 1. The 1 will be here. So this one plus 0 is still what? Is still 1. Then this one will come down. This also one will also come down, because at the bottom here is 0 that is there. So this is the final answer for this one. Let's now move to the last one. Now this one is not like that last one. Now it's in base 16. This is hexadecimal. So how do you add them up? In our previous class I was telling you that A is 10. I told you that. Then this 8 is what? Is that will be what? It's addition also. You are adding it together. 8 plus 10, it is 18. 16 goes in 18 is what? It is 1. Remainder what? Remainder 2. Get that. 1 plus 7 is 14, right? 14 plus 7, that should give us 21, right? 16 goes in 21. How many times? That's 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That is 5. That is 1, remainder 5. 1, remainder what? Remainder 5. And I told you that our B is what? In our hexadecimal, our B is 11. So 11 plus 1 is 12, and 12 plus 9 is 21, right? 12 plus 1 is what? Is 21. So 16 goes in 21. that is 1. You mean that what? 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. You mean that what? You mean that 5. If I'm right. Did you understand what I'm doing? Now look at it. B is 12. B is 11, sorry, plus 1, that is what? 12. 12 plus 9 is 21. So 16 goes in 21 is 1, it means that 5. Now this one is D here. And our D, you know our D is what? Our D is, I think our D is 14. When you check, our D is 14 because E is, no, D is 13. A is 10, B is 11, C is 12, D is 13, D is 13, and our A is what? Is 10. So when you add them together, you have what? You have 26. You know, you carried 1 to here, that is 27. So when you divide 16 goes in 27, it will give us what? It will give us 1. You mean that what? So you're going to since we are going to minus 16 from this, so what do you have left? 7 minus 6 is what? Is 1. Then 2 minus 1 is what? Is 11, right? So 11, you are not going to write 11 here because it's more than 10. So 11, what is 11 in hexadecimal? 11 is B because A is 10, so 11 is B. So you are going to write B here. Now what is there is what? Is 1. You bring the what? You bring the 1 down. Now look at this question here. Now they ask us to find the missing number here. This XX, what this is a missing number. What does it mean? So if you want to do this one, you had this and this together, you minus it from this. That's how you go about it. Now this is what you're gonna do now. You can put this down. Now you have what you have now. You have 3, 2, 0, 1 is in base 6. 1, 1, 1, 1. So let's add them up. So it's in base 1 plus 1 is 2. Then you have here what? 1. You have here is what? 3. And you have here what? You have what? You have 4 here. So this number, the addition of this number here, you are going to deduct it from what? From this number here, because the addition of all these things what gave you the answer to this. So what you're going to do here is that you now have what? 1, 2, 1, 0, 3. Now I'm using style to introduce you to negative, but no problem, we're still going to look at that in the next lesson. 1, 2. So it's in base 6. Now this combination of addition and subtraction now. So how do you not get this now? In subtraction, I told you earlier, 3 minus 2 is what? Is 1. Now in subtraction, you have to borrow. When you borrow, I'm not borrowing, you borrow, but what you borrow, it is not 1, it is 6. Get that stuck in memory. Anything you borrow, because it's in base 6. So anything you borrow, if you borrow 1 from here, we have 0 here. So when you bring in 1, it becomes 6 here. So it will be 6 plus 0 is 6. 6 minus 1, you have what? You have 5 here. And what is left here? You have 0 here. If you borrow 1 from here, you have 1 here. What you bring it here becomes what? It becomes 6. 6 minus 3, that is what? That is 3. Now you have 1 here. When you borrow 1 from here, this one becomes 0. The one you borrow is 6. You add it to this one that is 0 already. That is 7. So you add 6 plus 1. That is 7. Then 7 minus 4. That is what? That is 3. So this is your what? Your final answer for this one. So final answer is 3, 3, 5, 1. Now let's look at the next one now. You have the cell state the base for following 3, 4, 5 plus 5, 4, 5, 3. You have, let me clean this side so that not be stressing ourselves. I hope you've copied this or you put this down. And just I don't need much of it, just small space I need. Now you ask to that when you have this 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 3, and it gives 1. This will be what? 1, 3. Then you have 1 here, and they said what? Find the state the base. What base is here that gave you this thing? If I were you, this is what I would do. If I had 5 plus 3, not that what is here, it should be in base because what is here is 5, 4, 3. So it should be in base 7, because it can't be in base 5 because you have 5 here. It can't be in base 4 because you have 4 here. So it has to be number, the base has to be number greater than number here. You are talking about 6, 7. Well, you just like a critical thinking. When you think that, okay, when I add 7, I put 7 here, if it's in base 7, let me add them up if it will give me this number. Now 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 goes in 7 is what? 1. Remainder what? Remainder 1, right? Now you have 4. 1 plus 4 is what? Is 5. 5 plus 5 is 10. 7 goes to 10 is what? Is 1. Remainder 3. You can see now 1 plus 4 is 8. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. 7 goes in 8 is 1. Remainder what? Remainder 1. So this is it. So you can see it means the number, the base is what? Is 7. Is in base what? Base 7. So that is that for now. So let's move on.